You dumb motherfuckers!
You unlock this door with a simple registration. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of memes. A dimension of trolls. A dimension of morons. You are moving into a dimension of both factual and unfactual information, of rumours and hopes. You just crossed over into the Twitter fanboy zone.
Well, the Game of the Year dropped, and it wasn't so much Game of the Year. It was hounded with lots of issues, like bugs and glitches and things, which we'll go through, which they've all tried to deny, of course. But then they also tried to sort of, which I agree with them, Metacritic is crap. And the thing is, they seem to only follow the Metacritic is crap, when it doesn't suit the narrative, because they flip between Metacritic is the go-to source, and Metacritic is crap. Just a click of a finger, they just flip-flop, flippity-flop-flop, flip. And it's just getting irritating and boring now to this point where they're just becoming memes themselves. But, I mean, the fellow I showed at the start, saying, actually, let's get on to the point. It actually took a while for me to find that, and I couldn't figure out why, and then I realised why. And this was the reason why that I couldn't find it, so I had to go through other people's comments and things to find it, and then had to post it here. So let's actually have a look at it. If you remove the 5% of stupid haters' reviews, the score's 93. That's just incredible logic there. I'll tell you what, if you removed any score below 10 out of 10, the score would be a 10 out of 10. It would be 100% score if you removed everything. Here's another factoid. If you removed all the 9 and 10 out of 10s, the score would also been lower. How about that? Because what I can't grasp from these is that they think any sort of low score, and we're talking about scores and 6s and 7s, which in my eyes is a perfectly good score. But they believe that any scores like that, review bombing, is like a low score, and thus review bombed, thus it's an Xbox fanboy or biased media or something. But they can't actually grasp the other end of that spectrum. 9 out of 10s. Surely anyone scoring a game 9 out of 10 is the other end of the spectrum, where they're also biased, but towards the game, and they're up scoring the game. Can you not apply that same logic? Of course you can. Anyone giving games 10 out of 10 should be happening. No game should be a 10 out of 10. And you get some people say like, yeah, it's got. I've literally seen people say it's got faults, but still 10 out of 10. You can't say a game has its faults, but it's a 10 out of 10. No. If something has faults, then by definition it cannot be a 10 out of 10. But of course it didn't result in the result they wanted, which is 90. For some reason in their heads they believe anything below 90 is trash, or all PlayStation games have to score a 90, or media bias. Is incredible when, you know, as Xbox gamers we've been calling out for years, and the faults in Metacritic for years, and they've denied it. As soon as their game drops under 90, it gets an 89, which is an incredible score. What is the fuck is wrong with 89? Media bias. Oh, they're lying, they're wrong. Like this fella here, this calling out Stiviver and pointing out the issues and things. You know, he's wrong. Basically saying he gave 89 score, he's down scored it. He's wrong. But let's actually look what Stiviver said. Now this is just an excerpt of Stiviver's. Bear in mind, I'd just like to get this across. Stiviver isn't one man. His name. There isn't a man in the world called Stiviver. Okay. This is just a gaming website, a reviewing website, and the different reviewers, journalists, they're different people. There's different people who review different games, because they said about Stiviver scoring Halo higher than Horizon Forbidden West. It was a different reviewer, and this is going to blow your mind. Different people have different opinions. You see, that's life. As you grow up, you'll discover that. Thankfully, people have different opinions. Can you imagine if we all had the same opinion? It would be like a cult, wouldn't it? Oh, where have we seen one of those recently? But yes, look at the issues Stiviver actually pointed out, and he seems to actually be the only one. If anything, this is the least biased review of the game, because he seems to point out the glitches and the bugs with the game, which not many other reviewers did. All the others saying perfect. But there were some glitches. But it's perfect. No, it's not perfect. If there's glitches, it's not perfect. Stiviver was the actual truthful one. Pointed out the glitches and the bugs, thus scored it lower. Before you come at me and say, oh, there was no bricking, there was no glitches, there was no... let's do it. we go, a bit of massive attack to go with the mood. And the machines are bricking as well. People reporting what was weird about this though, like people saying it's bricking my machine, I've got glitches, I've got bugs, I've got issues. You've got PS4 gamers complaining about the game, saying the game's great, but it's got issues. They were attacked by other PS4 gamers, telling them like they're lying, telling them to shut up, telling them like, it is like cult. It is a cult status. I can't see any reason why people just turn on their own when they turn the truth, or when they're highlighting real problems with the game or possibly the console. Because a lot of them are saying, "Oh, it's not the game's fault. It's not the game's fault." Well, then is it the console's fault? Why are you just not addressing these issues that are obviously happening? You're just sort of blanking them, just trying to raise them from memory.
Out of your motherfucking mind, man.
And as a result, it looks like PS players are starting to lose their minds and just come out with the most random weird stuff, just weird crap. But the thing is, what's really gets my goat is the developers, support the developers, and these people saying like, developers put blood, sweat and tears into these games, you need to support these games. I just can't get their angle on this. Firstly, Sony pays the developers before the job's done. It's not like the developers are held to ransom and not paid until the game's a success and then they pay them. That's not how it works. Sony pays the developers to do a job, then the game releases, and all the money kickback from that is generally given to Sony, not the developers. So the developers are paid regardless, right? Secondly, I don't know what the concern is about developers. We must help the developers, help their families and their children. I don't know what squalor they're thinking these developers are in. I don't understand it. But there would be a quite, I suppose, moral stance if they just carry the energy through. But we know they don't. We know anything that isn't PlayStation exclusive, they absolutely shit on, and they quite happily expose developers and call developers out, even send them death threats. So this whole narrative of support the developers things just jerks me, just irritates me, because it's just horrible and hypocritical, and they contradict themselves daily, and it's just bad to see. It's bad for gaming, the whole premise of it. Thankfully, what come out of all this garbage though was a PlayStation fan revealed to me saying, I didn't actually know that like some guy was saying he was losing his saves playing Horizon Forbidden West, and they obviously took the piss out of him because that's his fault for some reason. And then one person said, well, why don't you just buy PS Plus, because that allows you to save to the cloud. I never realised you had to pay you had to pay a rental service to save your games to the cloud. It's not free like it is everywhere else. I didn't realise that you had to rent a space to save your games on. And this guy's promoting it as if it's nothing, because just pay to rent space, just pay to rent storage so you can save your games. Like that's okay. That's just fine. Just do that. But you can't pay to rent your games though. No, you can't rent your games, but you can rent storage space for your saved games, which should be free, because that's just costing Sony nothing. I don't know what's going on there. That's just weird that they've another thing that they're not kicking back on. Then we have good old MBG trying to pretend that nothing's wrong. This is nothing to see. There's no problems, issues, and then we have another LED, a devout PlayStation fanboy, telling him he's talking shit, that there is issues with the game. This is what I mean. They're just eating each other at the moment. It's hilarious. So I don't know if it's some of them. I've had people say to me, I've not had problems. Like, that's okay. I've not had problems. So the world doesn't. I'm not starving. So nobody's starving in the world. Nobody's starving in the world because I'm not starving. That's how ludicrous that example gives when you say, I'm not having problems. That's what it is. You know what I mean? We've got war at the moment. It's like saying, well, I'm not war more. It's just no problem. Doesn't bother me. Just please stop. 12 minutes in, and we've not even actually got on to the point of this video, and that is what they're charging for this game. They're charging $70 for this game. Now, when they originally said they was going to charge $70, they said they was charging $70 for better quality, because next generation games are going to need it. They're going to have that much more improvements. They're going to be that much more refined, perfection, yada yada. We've clearly seen that isn't the case. We've seen Returnal, which was $70 or £70, and had problems with it. Don't deny it had problems. It had. Even the developers advised people not to play it until you've had like the second patch. It had problems. We had Ratchet and Clank. It had problems. There's various things on YouTube. Don't deny it. Now this, and But what makes this one worse is that it's actually cross-gen. I wouldn't mind if it was $70 just for next-gen only games, but you're charging the $70 for PS5 version when the PS4 version is $60, but you're given a free upgrade. So then it's not really free if you're still charging $70 for the PS5 version, because the thing that came out here was Sony were being sly. They wasn't advertising the PS4 version because it was $60. They was advertising the PS5 version. They was advertising the premium price version. There's also hiding it from their store and things like that. You had to actually look around from it, to the point when one of the a lawyer has called this out. Hoag's Law, I believe, he has done YouTube a video of it, and has been calling them out on it and saying they can be sued for what they've been doing. It's exceptionally deceiving of Sony. And let's be honest here, Sony have been very deceptive this generation. They've gone back on a lot of things. I mean, this is one of the things I went back on. They said they weren't going to charge for game upgrades, and then they did, but they said, oh, look, Horizon Forbidden West will be the last, then we won't charge that one. But they slyly are, because they're still charging for the PS5 version for $70, and then hiding the PS4 version or making it hard to download, or even as the thing that I showed, they you have to play. If you do that, you have to download the PS4 version and then download the PS5 version to get the upgrade. It's almost as if they didn't give a free upgrade at all. It's almost as if they just lied. To be honest, they had no intention of ever giving free upgrades. Whole things, and Sony have been very deceptive, and they're not giving you top quality blockbuster games at all. You know, Horizon Forbidden West rated 88, which is a great score, a fantastic score in the world of game scores. But you lot are just not happy with that, and it's not your quality in your head that lives in your head that these games are perfect, because they need to be perfect. And then when they're not, you don't say anything. You complain to everyone except Sony. You need to go to Sony and say, we don't want to pay for our fucking saves. We don't want to pay $70 for these games. We want our money back. We want you to do better. You need to demand better. For a generation, you told Xbox to demand better, to do better, and they did. And now they've come out, and they're going to start coming out with better quality games. And like they held back Halo for an entire year so they could improve it, and it come out pretty much. There's very, very few issues of it. Same as for Horizon 5. Very few issues of it. But so far we've seen Horizon Forbidden West the complete opposite. I think you need to at some point stop buying into the Sony product. Stop buying into a corporation that doesn't really care about you. You just want your money. That's why it's funny that person said earlier that they're glad Sony's sort of Japanese, because American companies are greedy. You just don't understand Japanese business, and do you, dear girl? Everyone's business, every corporation's greedy. There's not one doing it. They're not doing it for charity, love. They're just not. Yeah. So I think I'll round that up here. Love to hear what you think down below. King Thrasher's not done an analysis of this. He said back on the 8th of December that he was working on an analysis for Horizon Forbidden West. That's still not happened 3 months on, and I guess that will never happen because he doesn't do analysis of PlayStation games. So thank you all for watching. Down in the comments below what your thoughts on this. Do you think now Sony should stop charging, at least for cross-gen games, $70 for the two versions? And how many games do you think will be cross-gen? Will you think going into next year there'll be more cross-gen? Do you think Spider-Man will be cross-gen? What do you think about the whole plan for cloud saves? Please sub and share. Please put your comments down below. Please like, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Goodbye for now.
Conclusion. Kid is for horses, you dumb motherfuckers.